It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo Parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science Potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you, and we are here on the Science Bowl today with two great elementary schools. Let's meet them right now. First, from Mattaponi Elementary, would you say hello to Naeem Bachman, John Davis, and Shemi Bakoye. And from Vansville Elementary, here they are, Cooper Reynolds, Joey Baylor, and Lena Quach. And now here are the categories of questions we use on the Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green Things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo Parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body Systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing and digesting your food. Let's Get Physical, questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's Science Potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
Here on the Science Bowl, we arrange our game board according to question difficulty, with the easier questions on the left worth 5 and 10, the tougher ones worth 15, 20, and ultimately 25, the toughest question of them all. Both of our teams start out at 50 points apiece. No penalties ever for incorrect answers. And to the 2 rounds today, one of these talented, good-looking teams will come back to play our game again and perhaps advance to this year's elementary school semifinals. Let's make sure everything works properly before we get started. Let's go to the red team. And John, would you try that buzzer? Thank you, young man. Good luck to you, to Shemi, and to Naeem. And Joey over there at Vansville, give it a push. Thank you, young man. Good luck to you and to Lena and to Cooper. I know we're going to have a good game. You guys, congratulations on being chosen by your schools to be here today. Let's have a good game. We go alphabetically M before V. So Mattaponi and John, let's go.
Green things for 5.
Green things for 5 points. Teams, this evergreen plant that climbs walls is the nickname for schools like Harvard, Yale, and Princeton. Josie.
I'll pass this on
Cooper.
to Cooper.
Vine.
More specifically. Not quite. Mattaponi, this evergreen plant that climbs walls, is the nickname for schools like Harvard, Yale, and Princeton.
Grapevines.
Ivy League schools. Ivy was the kind of vine I needed. Cooper, you were close on that one. Try again, please. Red.
Let's get physical for 5.
Let's get physical for 5 points. Teams, you can no longer buy hoverboards on Amazon because these lithium-ion things are exploding and bursting into flame. John.
The batteries.
The batteries, yeah. The batteries, apparently they burst into flame with very little notice. Yeah. Dangerous toys. Go red. Good answer.
Science Potpourri for 10.
Science Potpourri for 10 points. Teams, if a volcano doesn't erupt all that often, and it's been a while, it's called dormant. But a volcano that has stopped erupting entirely shares what same name as animals that are gone for good. Vansville.
Extinct.
Yes, an extinct volcano, an extinct animal. You followed everything I said. That's exactly how you win this game. Listen to all the clues I give you. Nicely done. Go green.
Zoo Parade for 5.
Zoo Parade for 5 points. Teams, this ungulate with the luminescent nose famously led Santa's sleigh. Vansville.
Reindeer.
You got that. More specifically.
Rudolph.
You got that right. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. That's the one. Green.
How about Dateline Science for 5?
Dateline for 5 points. Teams, since 6 of the last 10 years have been the hottest years ever recorded, you might say that planet Earth is running a what? John.
Sweat.
Not a sweat.
Global warming.
Not global warming. You might say that the Earth judges Vansville is running a what?
A marathon.
A fever. A fever. or a temperature? You were close, John, but we wanted to hear those words specifically. 55-65 advantage, green. Joey.
What? Body systems for 5, please.
Body systems for 5 points. Teams, the reason why it's so easy to catch a cold on an airplane is because this M initial gunk in your nose dries out and the virus can enter. Vansville.
Mucus.
Mucus, yeah. Disgusting word. Mucus. Go,
Yeah.
green.
How about science potpourri for 5?
Potpourri for 5 points. Teams, they recently took a survey as to the most important invention ever. It's not the internet, it's not vaccines, it's not agriculture. The thing that won was this appliance that keeps our food from deteriorating, sometimes for weeks. John.
Refrigerator?
Yeah, how about that? A refrigerator and its corollary, air conditioning, made a huge difference to the world. All right, 60-70. Red.
Green things for 10.
Green things for 10 points. Teams, even if you are lactose intolerant, you can drink this that comes from a coconut. Mattaponi?
Coconut milk.
Yes, sir. Good answer. Go. John.
Body systems for 10.
Body systems for 10 points. Teams, let's talk sports and vulnerable joints. If you're a swimmer, you can have swimmer's shoulder. If you're a jumper, you can have jumper's knee. And if you play tennis, you have tennis what? Mattaponi.
Arm.
Not arm. Give me the joint. Vansville, swimmer's shoulder, jumper's knee, tennis what?
Elbow.
Elbow. That's it. Good. Green.
Good job. Let's get physical for 10.
Let's get physical for 10 points. Teams, when scientists seed a cloud with dry ice and crystals of silver iodide, what do they hope to produce? What do they hope to produce, Mattaponi?
Rain.
Yes, sir. They are trying to get some rain. GE, first company to do that way back when. A lot of farmers got upset because they thought they were stealing, someone else was stealing their precipitation. Go. 80 all, tie score.
Dateline science for 10.
Dateline science for 10 points. Teams, it was back in 1907 that someone said this scientist had his happiest moment when he realized that a person in free fall doesn't feel his own weight, which was the basis for his famous theory of relativity. Who was that famous scientist for 10 points, Vansville?
Albert Einstein.
Got it. Good. Go. Whoa! The buzzer says we're not going to go anywhere quite yet. We're going to take a break, but before we do, let's check that score right now. It is Mattaponi 80, Vansville 90. We'll be back with round 2 of Science Bowl in just one moment. Don't go away.
I started mentoring my mentee, Dantre, 4 years ago. I always thought about doing it. It always seemed like a good idea.
We were both nervous when we first met, but everything kind of fell into place.
Mentoring is important to anyone that's pretty fortunate in life to have a little bit of time to pass on that knowledge.
Etienne's a very close friend. I look at him as a brother and a father figure. He taught me just focus on the big picture because I would like to give back just like Etienne gave back to me. Be someone who matters to someone who matters.
If you're like most families, you probably have video game fans in your home. But not every game is right for every kid, which is where the ESRB ratings come in. They help parents make informed decisions for their kids. And there's an easy-to-use mobile app that gives you detailed info on specific game ratings. Video game consoles have parental controls that you can set to block certain games by age rating, so they get all the fun, and you get peace of mind.
And welcome back to Science Bowl. So nice to have you here today. Hope you're playing along with our students and coming up with the answers as they are. Here we are in our 30th year of Science Bowl, and the contestants keep getting better and better. We've got 6 great ones here today. Let's go over to Mattaponi. John, tell us about Mattaponi. Where is that?
Mattaponi is located in Upper Marlboro.
Yeah, down in the southern portion of the county there. And Dr. Hay is your principal, correct?
Yes.
And boy, she's a big fan of Science Bowl. Who's the sponsor of your team?
Sponsor of my team is Mr. Poya.
Absolutely, and I know he signed up very early. He wanted to make sure you guys got in this. and you're all looking good there, and you're matching. Is that the school uniform?
Yes.
Yeah, those black polo shirts, you look good in those. And did you have any alternates on your team, John?
Yes, we had Krista Etienne.
And she'll be out in just a few moments here to join Mr. Puglia. And tell me something about Mattaponi that you brag about. What do you really like about that school?
I love the Chromebooks. They're really fun. We get to do all kinds of stuff. We get to type. We get to play this game called Kahoot, and it's really fun.
Yeah,
Makes learning fun.
Yeah, and Chromebooks really have revolutionized instruction, you know, and once you get one, you never want to give it up. John, tell me about yourself. What do you want to do someday?
I want to become an epidemiologist and a good YouTuber.
Yeah, and an epidemiologist, very few students can pronounce it, let alone know what it is, and John, he's done both. And you got interested in this how?
I was watching a movie called Contagious, and I just started getting nightmares for like 2 weeks. But then I was like, you know what, this might be a good idea for me to do for my career.
Well, you're a level-headed and well-spoken young man, and certainly, you know, we need good epidemiologists when things like Ebola threaten us, because we all think, what's going to happen? So we need people to understand it. Thanks, John. Good captain. Shemi, nice to have you here. Young man who wants to be in the NFL or the NBA. Big Redskin fan, yeah. We're doing well this year, aren't we? Yeah, at this point, at least we're taping it here in December. We'll see what happens later on. Let's enjoy it while we can. What do you do in your spare time?
In my spare time, I like to play video games, play sports with my friends, and read a little about sports and like updates about teams and things like that.
Yeah. Why'd you want to be on this show?
I want to be on the show because Mr. Puglia showed us a video, and when I saw the video of an old science book competition, I got very interested in it, and I like the way you give us clues and stuff, and the way you can answer questions, and it's very interesting to me, and I like to be a part of that.
Wonderful. And you know, you just proved something. You got to take a chance in life. Sometimes you got to say, let me try this. You know, you never know. Sometimes you get what you wish for. And we're real glad that you're here on the set. You played a real good game here. Thank you, too, for the nice endorsement. Naeem, tell us about yourself. Give us the Naeem story. What do you do in your spare time?
Well, I like to do origami and play Minecraft.
Yeah.
And also watch videos.
Wonderful. And origami, you told me you made a hummingbird once, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
I
that
make lots of
Japanese
them.
art. And what else?
Well, I want to be an astronomer when I grow up.
Okay. And I was asking him earlier if he had a telescope, and he said not yet. So, you know, if anyone needs a gift idea for Naeem telescope, you'd like one, wouldn't you? Yeah, you're a good player as well. Let's go over to Vansville. Joseph, tell us about Vansville. It's a relatively new school. I remember being there the day they cut the ribbon. Beautiful. It's a green school, isn't it?
Yeah, we pride ourselves on, you know, having recycling bins in every single classroom, making sure people recycle, and we also like yeah, we have geothermal energy. We use geothermal energy.
Absolutely right. Thank you, Cooper. I remember seeing those tanks there. You know, that really saves a lot of energy. And Vansville is in Vansville, near Beltsville, right over there off Route 1. And your principal is Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Yeah, and he's been there, I think, since day one. And he's a great guy. And who's the sponsor of your team?
Miss Brown.
Miss Brown, and she's out there, and she's biting her nails. She's worrying about you guys, but she's prepared just so well. And we are lucky to have her. Any alternates on your team?
Yes, Alyssa Ortega and Dagamawi Getachew.
Yeah, okay, and they'll be out in just a few moments. Other than the greenness of Vansville, what do you like about it?
Well, I really like that, excuse me.
That's all right.
I really like how like it has a lot of hands-on activities where instead of just like reading from the books, we actually get to do lab experiments and have a lot of fun with my friends.
Boy, that's music to my ears. I like people who do hands-on kind of learning, because that's what stays with you. You've got souvenir experiences there. You want to be a physicist someday, right?
Yes.
And got a lot of confidence. I like how you play the game, Joseph.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Lena, nice to have you here. Tell us the Lena story. I know you like to read books, don't you? What kind of books you like?
I like the I Survived series a lot, and it's like really interesting. It's based on true events.
Yeah. So you like nonfiction? Yeah, that's wonderful. What do you want to do someday?
I want to be a special ed teacher because I want to help the people that like are
who might need a little extra help, right? Yeah, and especially if you've been around students in special education, you know, and I think that's just wonderful that you have that as an ambition. I think you'd be a good one. And Cooper, you seem to know an awful lot about science. How do you know so much science?
Well, my dad has been a science teacher at Benjamin Tasker for about 16 or 15 years, I think.
That makes a lot of sense. So you're getting taught in school and at home.
Yes.
Dad is providing some lessons too, and I know he's very proud of you. Tell me what you want to do someday, Cooper.
I want to be a professional dancer when I grow up.
Yeah. What kind of dance do you like to do?
I like all types of dance, but if I had to pick one, it would probably be hip hop.
Wonderful. And dancing is great aerobic activity too. You know, you're indulging your creative side and you're keeping fit too. You're a good player. Keep it up. Let's get back to the game. All of the high-valued questions remain here. Score 80 Mattaponi, 90 Vansville. Last correct answer came from Joseph. Vansville, start us out.
How about Zoo Parade for 15?
Zoo Parade for 15 points. Teams, grasshoppers are an example of insects that go through incomplete metamorphosis, meaning they skip what stage that is in complete metamorphosis. What stage of development do they skip? Mattaponi.
Shitting.
Again?
Shitting.
No. What metamorphic stage is missing in incomplete metamorphosis? Example being that of a grasshopper.
I guess like when you go, the grasshopper going into a cocoon, or?
Yes, judges are saying absolutely right. That is the pupal stage. Well done. Good comeback. All right, go green.
How about body systems for 15?
Body systems for 15 points is a multiple choice question. Teams, if you're eating and talking and the food goes down the wrong pipe into your windpipe instead of the esophagus, it's because which of the following flaps does not snap shut soon enough to keep that food from going into your lungs? Is it the alimentary canal? Is it the pyloric sphincter? Or is it the epiglottis?
Epiglottis.
Epiglottis is absolutely right. Yes, it's that little flap, and it's always trying to keep up with you. If you're talking and eating at the same time, it gets real confused. Go green.
How about let's get physical for 15?
The physical, 15 points. Teams, this K-initialed inert gas is perhaps better known as the home planet of Superman. Mattaponi.
Krypton.
Krypton, that's it. Good. Red.
We
all know about kryptonite. Yeah, that was Superman's Waterloo. Go.
Zoo Parade for 10.
Zoo Parade for 10 points is a visual question. Look at the monitor in the studio if you would, please. Teams, the Albert National Park in the Congo is the only place in the world where you can see both the mountain gorilla and this, the okapi, which even though it has a rather short neck, is the only living relative to what other animal?
Giraffe.
Vansville.
Giraffe.
Yes, it is. It is related to the giraffe, kind of a very short-necked giraffe. And you can see how it blends in so very easily in the jungles there. All right, Vansville.
Science potpourri for 15, please.
Potpourri for 15 points. Teams, the tryptophan that's found in turkey meat that's supposed to make you sleepy after Thanksgiving is actually an amino what that is used in the production of protein. Tryptophan is a kind of amino what? It's an amino acid. Amino acids are the building blocks of proteins. Try again, green.
How about green? Dateline science for 15.
Dateline science for 15 points. Teams, as smart as Mother Nature is, and as wonderful as evolution has been, it took the human mind to come up with this circular means of locomotion. What did we invent? Vansville.
Automobiles?
Close. Mattaponi.
Cars.
Wheels. Wheels. We invented the wheel. Mother Nature didn't come up with that. Go green.
Green things for 15.
Green things, 15 points. Teams, ecologists and nutritionists know that photosynthesizing plants form the basis of all food whats? Food webs, food chains, food pyramids. Everything depends on the plants. That's why we threw in the word nutritionist there. Go green.
Science potpourri for 20.
Potpourri for 20 points. Teams, fleas and mosquitoes and flies that carry and spread disease are known by what V initial term, also the name of the villain in Despicable Me who fought Gru. Mattaponi.
Vector.
Vector, that's it, a vector. That's what we call those insects spreading diseases. Go red.
Can we do body systems for 20?
Body systems for 20 points. Multiple choice question, teams. Doctors are now treating children with severe myopia with better hearing aids, stronger leg braces, or eye drops? Vansville.
Leg braces?
No, sir. Good try. Severe myopia. New treatment. Stronger leg braces, better hearing aids, eye drops.
Better hearing aids?
Myopia is nearsightedness. Eye drops was the right answer there. Try again. Red.
Let's get physical for 20.
Let's get physical for 20 points. Listen very carefully to this. Don't be fooled. Score update. Mattaponi 115, Vansville 130. This is Let's Get Physical for 20 points. Teams, surprisingly, the coldest planet is this penultimate planet in our solar system. Joseph.
Pluto? Pluto?
Not Pluto. No, remember, Pluto now is out of the club. It's out of the club. The coldest.
Neptune?
Not Neptune. It's Uranus. Penultimate means the next to the last. The next to the last. You would think Neptune would be the coldest, but it is not. Uranus is actually colder than Neptune. Try again. Red.
Green things for 20.
Green things for 20 points. And remember to shop your answer around with your teammates. Don't just kind of impulsively say something. Get their opinions as well. This is green things for 20 points. Is that correct? Is that what you asked for, John?
Yes.
Green things for 20 points. Teams, the outer layer of a leaf has what same name as the outer layer of your skin? Vansville.
Epidermis?
Epidermis. That's exactly right. Good answer. Go.
How about Dateline Science for 20?
Dateline for 20 points. Teams, Undeniable Evolution and the Science of Creation is the name of a new book written by this science guy. Vansville.
Bill Nye.
Bill Nye, the science guy. Undeniable. His other book is called Unshakable. Interesting guy. Go, green.
How about Zip Parade for 20?
Zip Parade for 20 points. Teams, the private property that we humans have, we put fences around our house. That is the equivalent of what that animals have that they defend. Mattaponi.
Habitat?
Not habitat. Good try. Good try. The area that animals defend that is similar to our private property is known as their what, Vansville?
I'll pass this on to Lena.
Lena.
A cage?
Not a cage. Their territory. Their territory. They defend their territory. Yeah, I could see it burbling over there. It just didn't quite come out. All the 25-point questions left. Still anybody's game. Green.
How about let's get physical for 25?
Let's get physical for 25 points. Teams, if you have a hygrometer, it's an instrument, on an airplane, it will tell you that this environmental or atmospheric factor inside the plane is only about 20%. What is it? What is that environmental factor that a hygrometer measures? Inside an airplane, it's only about 20%. That's what the instrument would tell you. Joseph.
The pH level of the air?
pH level. No, that's a good try. It's a good try. John, what you think?
Water.
Say it.
Water.
Water. What do you mean?
Like H2O. Like the element?
Explain.
The elements, H2O.
Not quite. It's the humidity. It's the amount of water vapor in the air. The air in an airplane is very dry. You know, the question about the mucus, you know, it dries you out. That's why you have to drink a lot of water. Okay, still 170, 115. Joseph, pick.
How about Zoop Parade for 25?
Zoop Parade for 25 points. Teams, hybrid animals like mules that you get by breeding a horse and a donkey, or a liger with a lion and a tiger when they breed, those animals themselves cannot reproduce. They are sterile because they have an uneven number of these in the nucleus of their cells. John?
Genes.
Judges? Give me more. Where do we find genes?
DNA.
In DNA.
More?
DNA strands.
DNA strands.
No, judges are saying no. Good try.
Chromosomes.
Chromosomes is what we want to hear. That's what I want to hear. Good. Go green.
How about Science Potpourri for 25?
Science Potpourri for 25 is a visual question. Everybody look at the monitor in the studio, please. This is Biosphere 2. It's a glassed-in house in Arizona where people are sealed in, astronauts, practicing what it might be like if they have to live on Mars in such a bubble. This is very similar to what you may have in your classroom where you have a lizard and some plants and it's all closed in. It's like an aquarium, but it's called something else. Vansville?
Terrarium.
Say it again?
Terrarium.
It is a terrarium, yes. It's kind of a human-sized terrarium. Good, go.
What?
Green things.
Green things for 25.
Green things for 25 points. Teams, these tiny solar panels that are found inside of the cells of all green plants absorb light, but since they're fluorescent, they also reflect light back into the atmosphere. What are those little solar panels called where the photosynthesis actually takes place? Inside of each cell in a green plant. Come on, John, you need these points.
Chloroplast.
That's what I want. Oh, that's what I love to hear. Good, chloroplast, go.
Dateline Science for 25.
Dateline Science for 25 points. Teams, you might have heard on the news that former President Jimmy Carter had cancer. Specifically, he had this M-initial kind of cancer that went into his brain, a kind of cancer that normally affects the skin. For 25, I'll give you 25 points if you can give me the name of that skin cancer that begins with the letter M. Mattaponi.
Malaria?
Who's answering?
Yes. Malaria?
Not malaria. Nope. Vansville, you may answer. What is the M-initial form of cancer that is otherwise known as skin cancer? That's melanoma. And the buzzer says our game is over, and it looks like Vansville has done it. We'll be back with a wrap-up in a moment. Don't go away.
Minds can achieve anything. We make sure they get to college. Federal student aid provides more than $150 billion in grants, loans, and work-study funds to make college possible for anyone with the mind to get there. Because if given the chance, minds will do great things. Federal Student Aid, proud sponsor of the American Mind. Learn more about money for college at studentaid.gov.
Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed this Science Bowl game at home as much as we did here in the studio. We're proud of all 6 of our players. It is tough to sit here and answer these questions, but they did so beautifully. Our final tally today is Mattaponi 140, Vansville 220. Joseph and Lena and Cooper, congratulations. The wonderful Miss Brown back there, she has her arms around the 2 alternates, Alyssa and Dagamawi, and they will be back to play our game again. Let me see some big smiles over here, Mattaponi. You did a beautiful job, brought a lot of pride to your school. Naeem and John and Shemi, you never gave up. You gave us quite a game. Krista, nice to have you part of the team. Mr. Puglia, thank you for being part of the Science Bowl. We love having you here. We love having you too. We'll see you next time on another edition of the Science Bowl. Bye-bye.